3-4 weeks to get ready before the first event. When you're trying to figure out a new partnership, there's so many pieces of the puzzle that have to fit together.
Gotta keep messing with that pinky. He has a ruined pinky finger. Got blown up and torn apart playing. And they surgically repaired it so that it doesn't catch when you hit the ball. But he does tape it full time. Cannot straighten it. One from the technical timeout here in set number 2. Phil touches another one. Followed by an error. Intimidation on display. Frozen out on court 2. Evans and Santos trying to eliminate Brunner and Patterson.
That'd be quite a turnaround, considering Theo and Casey made it all the way to the semi-final in the Wilson Cup.
So we will join court 2 as well. Followed by an error. Intimidation on display. Frozen out on court 2. Evans and Santos trying to... What an interesting bit of blocking. The top 3 blockers, Brunner and Patterson. And on our sand right now.
That'd be quite a
This
turnaround.
is an elimination match.
Considering
Tinder's bracket. So you lose this one, you are done. And you might be done for 2020. Casey turns it. I saw sand come back over the line. We will have a check.
I was going to say, I thought I saw the sand too.
Everyone will plead their case. Looks like Keith Merlis there is the R2. If this is called in, Ricardo is going to lose it. Miles Evans walked away from it. So 2020 now on the outer court. Make sure you have court 2 up as Brunner and Patterson try and stave off elimination. In court 1, Kevin Barnett alongside Cameron Irwin. Number 1 seed trying to go in straight sets over Buttinger and Schulk. Nice scissor action there. Jump in, move over. Doesn't quite pay off.
That's a bummer too. That was perfectly timed defense from Nick Lucena. Sometimes it's easy to overrun that and get too quick on that one, but stays a little bit patient on that dig. Not quite able to turn it.
I will take an order of French fries to our studio. Thank you.
Kick save.
How about that? Wrist save and the winner. Oh, play of the day right there. Mark it down.
Dane Bland's over here saying, clip it. This is the winner. Oh, is his hand? Looked like his foot.
Oh, he's up there like a spider. And then the save here as well.
Oh no, this is the one. Wow. How'd he do that?
All those warm-up games. Little
What are we
control plays,
talking
because you saw it. Phil Dallas is just waiting to hit it.
Ooh.
Chase gets a worm burner there. That's not a hot pocket. That one stayed on the sand. Schulk on that line shot. Can't convert. Perfect dig from Lucena.
I formation.
Yeah, and it worked. Long rally won by Buttinger Schulk. First time I've seen the I formation effective in defense.
Both Phil and Nick dropped off to the same location.
That was more like a broken play, even. You and I formation, both backs thought they were getting the ball.
Third service error.
4 total for the team. A service, Phil Delhauser.
That is so hard to have to get your platform behind. Watch this. One, you don't even have time to move your feet. And that is a 6'5" Kame shock. That means he's got length and it's still outside of his reach. Can't serve much better than that.
Just Phil come right back up the middle. Net violation. Nick Lucena called it. I agree. And just like that, 15-13, and now a timeout.
Talk about athletic, though. That's the net violation right there. But prior to that, Chase went up and took a nice swing with his left hand. You almost probably didn't recognize it just because it looked so steady.
I thought we were going to have a timeout. It was just a sand timeout there. We'll clean the glasses. Phil remains at the line. Lucena blocked, and Phil can't get out of the way. So Chase picks up another stop.
Chase now working with 3, I believe all of them in the second set. We always talk about momentum shifters. What are some of those keys to momentum shifters? Well, aces is a big one, and also blocks is another big one. And then you come back with that.
Yeah, that's the danger of this, is Nick Lucena's ball control is such that he can scoop at any time for Phil. So much pressure as a blocker. That one sails out.
I mean, it's one thing to try and get a perfectly in-system pass, but they're so elevated. It's not just about getting an in-system pass. It's about placing the ball, setting up your offense, and where you want to attack the ball, all the way from the first contact.
Available again. A steam hammer delivered.
Chase ran up, but he instead went straight to Nick. Watch this. You might be able to see him pop. See how he goes to the middle of the court, completely disregarding Phil.
Well, he wasn't even getting there.
But that's the scary thing with the option play. Nick will actually push it to the opposite side, moving Phil completely laterally along the length of the net.
A service followed up. Phil Delhauser, 18-15. The unbeatable pair here in Long Beach.
Just makes you wonder what kind of damage this team would do on the World Tour right now if it were happening, playing at this level.
Our White Claw pure shot of the day. As we hit mid-afternoon here on a Saturday. What will it be? I think it's Nick Lucena. Covered himself twice. We thought that was off the foot. It wasn't. Flying through the air.
Well, he tries to go. It looks like he's going to go with his foot. Ends up getting his hand behind it.
Love the control on that bang-bang play to finish it. What clock your shot of the day? You have to be so careful not to let frustration set in on you when you play Phil and Nick. And you're making some good plays, and they just continue to make better plays. Lucena still carrying the advantage, along with Nick in hitting, 356. Their hitting efficiency, 100 points better. On the outer court, Theo Brunner and Casey Patterson stave off elimination in the freeze, 22-20, and they're on to a third set. Right through Phil's hands, field goal is good.
Well, and you can see the frustration right as he drops down. Watch this, hands outside, then they are closing in on the ball just a millisecond too late, just sneaking it through.
Almost, not quite, 1916.
How many kills has Phil had on the option in this match?
Yeah, that's a stat we need to keep on the regular.
Because he's got, I believe, 16 kills now. We'll see if it updates. Yeah, 16 kills, 2 errors. And I can recall him getting maybe 3 total serves so far.
7 control blocks, 2 blocks, 3 aces for Phil Dalhausser. How about that? And looking for a freeze right now. A little too high, and we're frozen at 20-16. Looking to advance to another semifinal, 3rd in a row. Dalhausser, Lucena trying to play the minimum amount of volleyball to take the maximum amount of money here in Long Beach. Match ball. Nick's under it. And there's the winner. It took just one, and they are on to Sunday.
And you love the elation because you know what that means. They're in the semis, and
they win the bonus pool.
They won the bonus pool, the top prize.
Tell you what, I saw Phil after a win last weekend jump and almost click his heels in the air. I love the rejuvenated excitement for the game by these two. And their coach, Jason Lockhead. With that win, 18-16, they advance. Yeah, there it is. You feel like you're on Nick, and then Phil goes on too.
Exactly. We saw so much of that, but this last one, I mean, come on. Nick Lucena doing some work.
Budinger and Schalk with some work to do. They are still in the tournament. We'll see them in a contenders bracket elimination match later.
All over the court, and again Casey reaches high and just whips one down. So he gave the cut shot a couple points ago, Jeff, just stayed way deep. That time Evans took the cut shot, was a little lackadaisical about it, and Casey was all over it.
Yeah, that wasn't Miles' normal cut. It wasn't his crisp little sharp guy that drops and stays sharp to the side. It just kind of hung in the air. So yeah, Casey long enough to get a flipper on it.
Theo's gonna get there. Offset,
Wow.
Ricardo with the stabby dig. And an open net for Ricardo, and that's a, you can get hazard pay for standing on the other side of the court with that coming at you.
That is some gas. How about the reflex of Ricardo to stab that one-arm bandit?
Reached out and found something there.
So this is
Maybe
kind of
he
interesting.
can't-
I remember from being in the box for years that, like, when a player went over to get something, like a towel, to towel off, you couldn't say anything. The referees would, like, come stand next to you so you wouldn't talk. And now it's no problem. You just sit there and talk to your guy while he wipes off.
Allowed to talk.
Very
It's
different.
almost like a mini timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Theo sides out. We had this conversation, I think it was either last week or week 1. I still am not a big fan of the coaches being involved. Wouldn't consider myself to be particularly old school, but I've always loved beach because it's the players' game. And the coaches' access and input is limited.
Oh, he missed it. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the sport was, you know, in a way designed at the professional level to not have coaches be a big impact on it. But AVP taking a chance, just like they did with the freeze, right? It really angered some players to add the freeze, and some fans
That's an
said, what the
understatement.
heck is this? Yeah. But it's something that stayed and worked. So I like the boldness of Donald's son and the people around him who are willing to give something like this a try, especially for a 3-event series. And just see how the players like it first and foremost, and then see if it affects the fans and the viewership in any way. I do
would
agree
be
with you, however, on the development side.
Would be interesting to see if that was a slightly how that would interact with the fans in the stadium and the atmosphere and the noise. It would be more difficult. It would be more challenging for sure.
I definitely agree. I think, you know, on stadium court, it can get pretty loud in there.
Absolutely.
And often there's, you know, a big crowd behind the bench, too, just like there is at pro sporting events and college sporting events where the people are so close to you, you can't even hear inside the box sometimes. But, you know, you find a way. You just kind of huddle in and make it happen. I think it'd be kind of funny, the potential for people actually, the fans talking to the coach or heckling the coach.
Heckling the coach, absolutely. That might be the only thing that could turn me towards this, would be just the someone else to heckle out there. Now we've got 6 people to heckle, or 10 people to heckle. Good grief, Matty Matt.
Yeah.
More people
You
to
would like
heckle,
the Florida
officials,
State
players,
fans
and
then. When I was with UCLA and we were in the national championship match out in Alabama 2 years ago, we were playing Florida State in the finals, and wow, it just got really weird. There, you know, it's so close to the Panhandle there that there was a lot of Florida State fans and families, and there's some people that were sitting on a cooler all day that basically just unloaded on Stein and myself all day long. They spared Jenny Jordan, but they were coming after us really hard and making it very distracting for the players.
What are Ricardo and Miles upset about here? Ricardo had 2 contacts. He blocked and then he set. And then the ball kind of got chucked over and Theo just smashed it. Is he asking for a catch and throw? For long contact from Theo?
Can't tell. He made a gesture up there. The referee, but I couldn't tell what his call was. Crucial side out here for the young Evans out of Dos Pueblos High School in Santa Barbara. Gets a good set.
Oh!
Boy.
Theo! Came up big there.
That was clearly his best block of the match, regardless where it went. He just got his feet to the ball and got way over and took up a huge chunk of space. That's Gaucho versus Gaucho action right there. Both Theo and Miles representing Kenny Preston's old program, now Rick McLaughlin's program for several years.
Side switch here. We'll see the coaches have a little bit of input.
Yeah, right now is when you want to be talking a lot. Any partnership should be talking a lot, but certainly Evans and Santos being a new partnership, and maybe with a coach that Miles hasn't worked with before, you definitely want to be talking every play, as they had mentioned to me before the broadcast. Just check in, make sure you know exactly what your game plan is on a play-by-play basis right now, and really trust each other's calls.
Really nice side out from Patterson there. Great pass, great swing.
He has totally found his rhythm. He's had a lot of really nice, fluid, free swings. He's above 50%, 24 for 42 in his kill ratio. Theo. His numbers are way, way up. I think it might be time to check in with Theo again. When Theo doesn't have to worry about siding out, any blocker will tell you this, you don't have to worry about passing and siding out and making decisions on offense. It really frees you up as a blocker, you know, and you see him start to make some stronger, bigger, bolder moves right now because that's where the majority of his focus is, having to only set the ball on offense.
Phil and Nick have advanced on court 1.
Wow.
Big swing for Theo.
Really good answer for the first time to be served in a while, to run the back set and then go really high flat. That's a big time swing. It's not going to get stopped by too many people.
Theo has half as many attempts as Casey, 21 to Casey's 42. Evans looked like he was shoveling that up to go on 2.
That's kind of the ultimate triple fake right there, right? You pass it high enough into the middle that your partner can go on 2, and then you start running a back set to move the blocker. So the blocker's eyes have to be on the setter, then on the back set, and then Miles ran back out in front. So kind of tricky, a lot of work, but you can get a nice free swing like he got. Okay.
Evans all over that. Oh, good play by Miles Evans.
Smart shot. So smart. Again, that's like a little bit of a maturity showing for Miles there. A lot of players would want to just bang that thing down. So juicy in transition, but Theo's been all over it, and Miles just cuffs it down the sideline a little bit for a really, really crucial point to keep this within 2.
Tight set. Ricardo covers. Casey won the joust. Evans keeps it alive again. Oh, what's the call?
Net on the block?
It must have been net on Theo. Ooh, that's a tough one. Casey was there.
He had moved up. He was in almost near half court when that play started. Which I think is a really smart call because Evans has gone to the cut shot quite a bit. Especially on the tight stuff. Okay, a couple short serves have worked. To the well. Oh, that's so gnarly. That's so gnarly. Everything about that set and that approach looked like it was going to be a fast line, and instead he just reaches max reach and cuffs that thing super sharp cross court. Not too many players have that kind of range on that set.
Spoke earlier in the day about gratitude being one of the things the AVP players were great at. Casey with a great big thank you after that swing. And then a triple ace. That's heartbreaking for Miles and Ricardo, who had fought so hard to get right back into that. The triple ace is just ruthless.
Brutal.
Ricardo gets served. Oh, and Theo gets him. And we're in the freeze. Jeff, that's twice that they've served Ricardo and gotten the point late in the match, and so we were on him hard for it early in the match, and that strategy has come through 2 out of 3 times for him now.
Crazy.
Oh, and Theo again finishes with authority. Theo Brunner has been a revelation in this tournament, one of the top players that we have seen in this AVP Champions Cup, and he and Casey Patterson will move on to play tomorrow morning at 8:15 a.m. Their opponent is yet to be determined. Ricardo Santos and Miles Evans, their tournament is over. What a way to finish for Theo and Casey.
Yeah, that's what they needed. They really didn't look good in that first set. They just didn't look sharp or crisp, and they came back and really steadied out. Theo shows you why at times he can be one of the best blockers in the world. He really can. He's right up there with, I don't know what the trigger is for him to do that. But you saw on that serve before the last play when he stuffed Ricardo, he had called angle. Casey was running to the line like a 4. Theo had totally called angle, but instead of just sticking with the call, he saw something or remembered something in that approach, and he dove all the way back to the line, got elbows over, and dunked him for a super crucial point. And I don't know if he just needs to allow himself to read like that and give himself the green light, the way that Anders Mole does from Norway, currently one of the best blockers, probably best 4 blockers in the world. But that's what Theo can do when he's free. He can just get across and make a huge stuff, and then of course he dunks Miles for the game. So they should feel pretty good about the way that match went, the way they improved. Casey's defense improved. He scooted up and took away something nice from Miles. And I think that allowed his blocker to come into play a little bit more. Hats off to Miles Evans for playing so well in that match, though. He probably wants that last swing back, but overall, he passed really well. He set really well. For the majority of the match, he gave really excellent calls to his partner, and he was the high side out percentage player for probably 95% of that match. So that's a really good sign for him if you're young. Maybe a good sign for Ricardo, wanting to stay with him a little bit longer. And just another really great match out here on court 2.
You can see it on the screen there. We've got another one coming up. Billy Allen and Stafford Slick against Jeremy Casebeer and John Hyden. And another loser in 7th place match. The winner will go on. This is the AVP Champions Cup Series, Volume 3, the Porsche Cup, brought to you by Acer. We're rolling right here on your Saturday. Stick with us, guys. We're going to take about a 5-6 minute break. I'm Matty Bishop. He's Jeff Alzina. We'll be back with Billy Allen and Stafford Slick versus Jeremy Casebeer and John Hyden on Amazon Prime.
Get hyped on this, baby. Get hyped on this. we clean. Do you fuck? See, I'm yours. I'm yours. On the run, goodbye city, never sleeps. Stay in, open up, feel the heat. Too far. One more time, I'll take you higher. Talk slow. Whisper my name, let me know how you like to feel, then we'll go. I'm yours. Turn your skin too far. One more time, I'll take you higher. And I know that you'll always be in my mind. I just hope I've not wasted time. And I could see it in your eyes, the way you bite your implies. You're alone again tonight. So I come over again, stumble back in, back to where I and we never were, but we try and turn your skin too far. One more time, I'll take you higher, and I know that you'll always be in my mind. I just hope I've not wasted time.
Nice side out there by Jake Gibb, going right down the middle. Good put away. Jake Gibb, as I mentioned, a 3-time Olympian. Twice with Sean Rosenthal in 2016 game with Casey Patterson. The 19th place there was a rough outing, but he is looking to make it to his fourth. Look at the rundown by Taylor Crabb. And so smooth because he comes in so hard. You just don't know if he's going to hit or is he going to shoot.
Well, and then he comes in and it's just like the pause right at the top. How do you even slow your body down after going this fast to pick up the dig? Just the craftiness of Taylor Crabb on display. He's cagey up there. Gotta watch out.
Crabb with a rip down the middle. Tri-Bourne will have an opportunity here, and he goes field goal style right between the uprights of Jake Gibb and in the court as this one goes back and forth. Tri-Bourne for a couple years dealt with that autoimmune disease, finally figured out what it was, and he has corrected that. Now he is powerful, stronger than ever, and playing some of his best volleyball as well.
Well, and there is some classic Jake Gibb right there. Loves attacking from that right side, all the way pushed out to the antenna. You can see him typically hit a really sharp cross ball and then this deep middle swing as well, deep into the angle.
Jake Gibb ripping it on Tri-Bourne. Over on the second contact is Trevor. And this time Tri, so lightning quickness on both sides of the net. No one really opted to use all three contacts.
No, and this is reminding me back to the Monster Hydro Cup when Tri and Trevor first took the sand. Everybody, everybody up here in the booth kept saying, wow, what a physical team. They look so good. They look clean. They look very crisp in all of their play. So physical. This is a team that's finished third in both of our two previous events. They're looking to surpass that. Can they make their way to a final?
Bourne and Crabb with a 1-point lead here at the technical.
Right where we need to be, huh? Right where we need to be. If you're balling in here, fine. But the right side is blind. On certain balls. If it's not at all above the head, you're truly blind. From the far side. Yeah, keep it on the right side. Are you okay? We're not. You can go anyway, but that's been good for us anyway from this side, right? We like going up the trip. My only thing I was going to say about our serving is we're doing a great job from this side. If we ease up because we scored a little bit on Trent, just make sure we're making it move. We went a little soft at and that allows that making whoever we're serving move. But we don't want to hit it on the guy and not right at him so that he can open up and try to that on too.
Standing from the Rich Lamborn and Jake Gibb having quite the conversation. He's the coach for Gibb and Crabb. Taylor Crabb, that is. On the other side, Jose Loyola, the coach for Tri-Bourne, and Trevor Crabb.
One of the things he was talking about was saying, hey, make sure if we're serving Trevor that we're serving outside of his body. Don't make it easy on him. We want to try and avoid the option play. So the tougher we serve at him, the less likely that option can happen.
Just a buttery set by Tri-Bourne, but Trevor Crabb can't get it past the big block of Jake Gibb. He presses hard with the left. Look, he almost touches the sand and then elevates so high.
Well, and then he uses his hands individually, pushing that left hand, letting it work on its own to close down that block.
Taylor Crabb, and wow, the athleticism. Crabb again. And that ball is out of bounds. Taylor Crabb absolutely everywhere in the backcourt.
Well, I'm fired up, just letting out a massive scream at the end of that rally. Taylor says, bring it on. What else you got?
Cameron, you got to think that that is a direct error related the other side. Because if you give them the best shot, as they have, Trevor and Try, and Taylor is just scooping balls.
Well, and so next thing you do, you're trying to look to find other ways to score points, and Trevor does love to go to that cut shot as well. So again, it's the IQ of Taylor down on the sand, being able to know exactly what's coming from his brother.
You know, a few plays ago, we talked about how quick the ball was kind of ping-ponging around. It's almost that Try and Trevor trying to put the ball away too quick. That last overpass, Try goes for the deep corner on one rather than crushing it or playing all three contacts. So maybe a little patience within the play.
That's what I was just about to say, you know, patience throughout the rally, trying to make sure that you take your chances when it's the right time to take your chances. You know, we talked about taking risk early in this and who's going to take the bigger risk. And right now, Try and Trevor might be forcing it a little too much.
Completely agree with you. They just need to slow down, take a deep breath, and play the volleyball that they're capable of playing.
Well,
we know how physical they are.
And that's hard to do, you know, that coming out in this first set, all cylinders firing, you're starting to feel good. So you just keep hammering and keep going. All of a sudden you got to go, hold on, wait, a little bit of a self-check. Let's make sure we're doing the systems that we need to. And just manage emotions a little bit here.
Here we go, 13-11. Taylor and Jake. And Jake is all over it right now. The experience, the late moves, absolutely beautiful.
Well, and I just love the discipline of Jake. He follows the set right here, watch. So he's on Try in case he fakes, and then he works so hard to get out there and earns himself a block.
That was pretty.
That was a nice move.
Big side out by Tri-Born. You know, I think it was last week when this team came out. They came out very tight, but when it got down to the end, when the freeze happened, they were able to loosen up. And I always, when you see something like that, you think, play looser early on.
And how do you do that? Where do you begin? You know, is it in the warm-up? Oh, you gotta love a good overpass. But you know, is it how you approach the game? What's happening in terms of your mentality and warm-ups and the feel? And it's so hard, especially when you're playing against your brother. How do you just keep it nice and cool? Still want the energy that you have to build on your own, especially when there aren't fans. This is constantly a balance.
Great set by Trevor, but they can't get that 1 foot away, and that ball does not clear the net by Jake Gibbs. So point for Try and Trevor, who are now deadlocked at 14 apiece. So after a lot of momentum on the side of Taylor and Jake, it's Try and Trevor's turn now, and they have tied this up. Nice wide set. Rainbow shot does not fool Tri-Born. Now can he convert? And the answer is no. That ball is wide. So another golden opportunity for Born and Craft. But it's out of bounds. So Taylor and Jake.
That's what I was going to say. I think Jake Gibb is taking a nice little breath right there. He's still shaking his head because he did not like that shot he took. Just kind of tried to go for a bit of a jumbo, but not quite deep enough.
Tri-Born has turned up his game the last few points, going more aggressive. I like that. Attacking Jake Gibb. It can cost you at times because Jake's making some big moves.
Yeah, Tri-Born hitting 429 in this match. Taylor's just smirking.
Well, it's funny, you know, he throws out too much heat to his brother after his brother made a few spectacular digs. So
These two guys live together too, by the way, so you can imagine what it's like for game night in the evenings.
So entertaining. Triborn and Trevor up by 1 point, but now it's crunch time. It's the business end of the session. Let's listen in to Jose Loyal.
We acknowledge the situation. We're not letting go any further than that, right? Those sets are off for you hitting high, fucking swing. Nobody's gonna stop you. Same thing with you. Remember what I told you about the line, the chop? Come on, keep it up. Swing it high. He's not gonna block you. And if you do so, I want to see you guys covering. That's the fucking week we train so hard to get the cover, right? Let's go.
Jose Loyola adamant about covering. Too many blocks by Jake Gibb. You gotta be ready to cover it. And it can be deflating when you cover a stunt block.
Oh, it can be so deflating, especially, as you're going up for a block as a blocker and you're thinking, oh, I've got this, and all of a sudden I gotta recycle yet again. Take a look at the tail of the tape on the Crab brothers. Trevor just 2 years older. He's got a few extra inches on him there. But I think Taylor might have a few more championships.
That's the one that counts, 8-1. We asked Taylor Crabb when he was in the Prime Video studio last week about the rivalry, and he made a joke earlier. He said, "What rivalry? We win every time." So that could have fired up Trevor for sure. Let's see if he can respond here with a 1 point lead, make it a 2 point lead, and now in control. Set to the outside, but too much heat. Triborn trying to stuff that ball. In good position. Timing was there, but Jake hit that seam, which is right in between where the blocker is blocking and the defender is standing. Get a lot of kills in that zone.
Talking about seams, there's that seam on the other side. Hardest places to have to defend.
Set number 1, quarterfinal action here at the Porsche Cup. Game plan alongside Cameron Irwin. I just wanted to call you Cam. I didn't want to say that. Rin.
And another seam ball.
Never forget your name. I'm just gonna go with Cam.
I like it. Dave.
Whenever I say Cameron, I see that R-Y-N, which is just as unique. It's a unique spelling, right?
Yeah. I think it's my sister. Fun fact, my original name was not Cameron. We'll get to that later.
1960 now. Trying Trevor with strong 3-point lead. Oh, wow. Trevor Crabb just levitating up in the air and throwing that ball back. Timing.
Talk about some hang time from the former basketball player. Watch this. Up and, I'm going to chuck this right back at ya.
Jake just knew it. All he could do is turn away. Tough to come back with a 4-point edge, so it'll be set point yet again for Bourne and Crabb. All they need to do, receive, serve, put it away, put this first set in the books.
I like how Trevor's foot is more like 6 inches.
Trevor and Tri, solid partnership. Let's see what Trevor thinks of his buddy Triborn.
We played together, growing up on the same indoor team and played in a couple beach tournaments as well back in Hawaii when we were kids. So, we know each other's games so well. And that definitely was a huge part of, teaming up, just being so close with him off the court.
I think that chemistry between the two is obviously there. The physicality's there. They got a 4th place in the World Championship last year in Hamburg. It's just really taking it to that next level of consistency. I think it comes down because they have every tool in the book.
Well, and we got a chance to catch up with them a few weeks ago and said, you know, where do you guys feel like you are at in terms of your development and your potential? And I believe the number they gave us was about 80%. They still feel like they've got these other elements they can just continue to add on, specifically in their defensive game.
Scary for opponents if they still have that much potential to go. They just haven't been able to put it all together in that one tournament.
Well, and these two teams have already matched up in each of our last 2 events. Tri and Trevor haven't been able to take a set until this matchup. Monster Hydro Cup, it was in the semifinals. The Wilson Cup, it was in the semifinals. There we go. 21-14, 21-19. Monster Hydro Cup was in the 2nd round of the winners.
Let's take a look at the Porsche key performance stats. 333 for Ty Born and Trevor Crabb, hitting percentage to 167 on the other side. And 3-2 in blocks, pretty even. No aces on either side. There it is. 21-17 in the first point of the 2nd set. KG corner shot. Go up 1-0, and it'll be interesting. Can Bourne and Crabb break the streak? You have to go back to Huntington Beach in May of 2019, the last time that Bourne and Crabb took down Crabb and Gibb. So they are definitely due. The all-time series stands at 5-1 in favor of Taylor and Jake. It's tough consistently beating a team because you know that team is trying to figure out every single match, looking at video, what can they do different? Beautiful high roll shot over the top of the block. Not easy to get over Jake Gibb, but Tri Bourne climbs the ladder. Short serve trying to take Jake's approach out. And it works. Here comes Tri with a crushing cross court left to right. That was all set up because of that short serve.
Yeah, definitely that short serve. Check out how high Tri Bourne is getting up there, though. We talked about the physicality of this team, and that is the perfect example.
Continue to go to Jake Gibb. This time, Trevor hanging once again. This time, late on the block as Jake goes straight down the line. Both Trevor and Tri really getting up.
Jake Gibb getting into positive numbers, hitting 0.56 so far.
Trevor Crabb coming in on the left side, making it look easy there. It's all about doing it over time. All 4 of these players, spectacular volleyball skill. But no one's been able to really put it together against the #1 seed of Phil and Nick.
Trying to run the 4 on Jake Gibb right there. Show line, take angle. Better in play by Jake, though. Still swinging high.
There's Jake Gibb. Played in 2008 and 2012 with Sean Rosenthal. And 2016 in Rio with Casey Patterson. You know, Sean Rosenthal, his partner, injured his shoulder in the first qualifier of this Champion Cup series, and from what I've heard, he needs to get shoulder surgery, which is not good news for Sean Rosenthal, who's had a spectacular career.
Definitely is going to try and make a comeback, though. He's according to social. So that's good. Not sure what Rosie's Raiders would do without him.
Good idea by trying to go short. As we mentioned before, when you serve the ball short, that takes the approach out of the offensive player unless they can get up quick enough.
And a lot of people try and do that against Jake Gibb too, trying to make him work on that short ball.
Want to make him work extra hard because he is, of course, the full-time blocker. And that's why. Wow, did he get up and over. Timing was impeccable, considering that set was about 7 feet off the net.
And, you know, and we talked about it in the first set as well. 7 feet off, you got to stay a little patient. The ball needs to be able to travel. You need to wait for that time to get to the net. Oh, nearly gets the trickler.
What's your best guess here? Is this thing going 3? Or could it be 2 straight?
I'm thinking it's going 3. What do you think? Put me on the spot. You should just say the opposite, so we got a little something, you know.
I'll say Born and Crabbing 2.
All right, here we go.
I don't know how much I believe it, but I'll say it.
Makes for good TV.
You know, if they are playing extremely well, they just need to do what they did the first set. Always check us out on social at AVP Beach and hashtag AVP Champions Cup. We always want to hear from you. And of course, hashtag where we watch at Cameron Irwin. Wow, I don't know, Cameron, how you go through all of the posts that come through.
I spend a lot of time in the evenings post-event. But also, you know, there's a little see it, sip it game going on if you head on over to AVP Beach on Instagram. So if something happens, then there's quite a list. One of them being Kevin Barnett and Cameron Irwin in shark suits. Take a sip. Stockman has a 700 pass rating or higher. Take a sip.
Jake Gibb ripping an ace, cross body and right down the line.
Might as well add that to the list. Take a sip.
There's a look at Jake. Timely ace, just out of reach of Trevor Crabb. Tried to get one hand on it.
King of timely aces and timely blocks. Oh, Try just spatches that one. Sets inside, couldn't quite get his feet in there. You saw the broad jump, and that usually means some trouble.
Trevor, nice pass. He challenges Jake again. Jake's just making really big moves, really deceptive moves, and it seems like so many blockers now are doing so. They're not staying stationary. They're jumping from one place to the next, almost moving 3-4 feet.
Well, with, you know, the movement of the offense, you know, we've seen such development, and I think a great example of that, Chasen Kame, you know, moving the ball around so much as he gets another ace. But with the development of the offense, I think you also have the development of the defense. So now blockers are being forced to get tricky, to bait you into things. It's almost like being offensive as a defender, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. You're trying to dictate.
Exactly.
Where people are going. You're trying to be sneaky. You're trying to start in one area, jump into the other. And I think it's the evolution, in a sense, of blocking. Years ago, you just really face up and go for it. Jake Gibb, 4 blocks, 2 aces, and turning it up right when they need it.
Well, and both of those come in, 2 of those come in second set. I was mentioning, you know, might as well have whether it's a cup of coffee or, you know, maybe a little mimosa on a Saturday afternoon. See it and sip it. This is coming to you from none other than Kona Brewing, so might as well dial up one of those. I think they got
Patterson hair flip, I mean, depending on what you're drinking, you're going to do a lot of them.
Constantly.
I love the dollhouse or smiles during a match.
He did a lot of that.
Yeah, I know.
If we're talking the last 3 weeks,
These last few weeks, yeah.
things are getting a little wild in the living rooms, I'm telling you.
That's funny.
That's a great game. Love it from Kona Brewing.
Jeez, that is going to be a Hammer Award nominee, lighting up his brother cross court right there. Wow. Did he put a little extra on that?
Just listen to this. Somebody turn that into a ringtone. Just the ooh call from Taylor.
Right off the bicep, just too much heat. Taylor Crabb showing you, and then Trevor comes right back with a little finesse shot to the corner.
But I love that. Like that's how you come back from that. You don't always have to come back with power. You don't always have to come back with heat. Keep your mentality, stay steady, and find the best shot possible for the moment.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you get caught up in that and you come back and try to hit the ball even harder, probably get stuffed down because
Exactly.
that's what they're expecting.
Exactly.
Smart play by Trevor Crabb. 11-8. Crabb and Gibb with the lead.
Love that finish from Taylor. Everything throughout his approach looked like he was coming in hard angle and potentially going with that wrist away swing. But instead, look at this. Just last second kind of shifts those shoulders slightly to the left and finishes. Woo.
It's just so precise, that shot. That's exactly where you want it to hit. Beautiful set by Triborn, and this is a quick little snap down the line by Trevor, beating his brother to the punch, and it's Taylor Crabb, Jake Gibb with the lead. 12-9 here at the technical timeout.
Losing the sunglasses.
That slap down the ring you did, it goes down. The high swing.
Take a
over
look
the ball
at
is
the
going down, okay?
overall Champions Cup Series standing so far. Phil Dahlhauser and Nick Lucena winning week 1 and week 2, so it's all about the lowest number. They have a total of 2, and they have pretty much clinched. Cameron, tell me the details.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because you average it out. So since they made it to the semifinal, they have clinched that top spot, that $25,000 extra bonus pool. Now, also important to note for Jake and Taylor, who are currently at a 1.7 as well, they could tie Nick and Phil depending on results, but still, it goes head-to-head at that point. So Phil and Nick would end up with the Champions Cup. And for Jake and Taylor to clinch that silver, I believe the worst would be a tie with Trevor and Taylor, something like that. Trevor and Try. There we go.
There's a lot of T's.
There's a lot of T's. What was the match earlier? It was John and Jeremy and Try and Trevor.
That's easy.
I'm like, and then there's Chase and Kane.
But when you have T's on both sides, that's when you get
True. Gets a little tricky.
a little tongue-tied. There you see Trevor Crabb grabbing the sanitized ball. Every ball is sanitized in between the rallies. You'll never see the ball, boys or girls, pass the ball directly to the players. It goes to an area where they sanitize it, clean it up, and every safety precaution that you can think of has really been taking place in these last 3 weeks at the Champions Cup.
Yeah,
wearing
no
the
doubt.
masks when you're not playing.
Everything practically contactless as much as possible.
Everybody getting tested each week.
And prior to our initial event, multiple times.
Quick put away there on the second contact. Beating Jake to the spot. Here comes Triborn. Gibb. Ball's fished out of the net, and an overset is capitalized on by Trevor Crabb. Tell you what, you don't want to overset against Trier Trevor. They really are good at just that quick gather step and exploding. Continue to go to Jake. One of Jake's favorite shots, high off the hands, right in the middle. Taylor Crabb, three-time All-American and National Player of the Year at Long Beach State. Just amazing amongst all the extremely tall players. Taylor just 6 feet even, and one of the best jumpers that you'll ever see. There's his brother. There is Taylor himself. But what a miraculous feat to win National Player of the Year of collegiate volleyball.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't know how that feels, but that was a dream of mine. And then to do that and come out and have the career you've had here on the beach as well.
Which is so explosive, so good. Reigning AVP MVP. Taylor Crabb. Tri-born. They're going to have to make something happen. Right now they have the 1-set lead, but you can just kind of feel it that the momentum might be swinging a little bit to Taylor and Jake.
You make something out of that? Oh. Trevor just kind of chucked that one over.
So Cameron, what is it like at home for Trevor and Taylor? Do they go about business as usual?
You know, I don't know. I haven't been invited over. But
So interesting.
I do, you know, I think their relationship. Are you talking Trevor and Taylor?
Yeah, Trevor.
Yeah, I definitely think their relationship has developed, especially in recent years. You know, living together. At times they hadn't been living together. They needed some separation from one another. The next thing you know, they've just really continued to bond. Their brotherhood. I'd love to see that those two can compete on a daily basis and then still come together and have fun, give each other a hard time, compete at such a high level.